Hey everybody, Graham Elwood here at the Bitcoin conference in Las Vegas. I'm here with crypto comedian Mona Shaikh, who does Web3 Is A Joke, which is a roast. I've been on it, it's very funny. And so do you consider yourself Democrat, Republican, or Independent?
I have always been and will always identify myself as an independent.
And so the two-party system, has a polling apparatus, right? And part of the thing they do in the polling is they'll ask that question. And then if you say you're an independent, they'll go, do you lean right or lean left? And they're trying to push people into boxes, and it's a way to sort of manipulate.
The votes. You know what? I think that's one of the things that has always bothered me. Like even on the last election, I didn't want to lean Democrat or Republican. I wanted an independent, candidate that I wanted to vote for. But there is none. I mean, I voted for Jill Stein, right? But let's be honest, Jill Stein basically had no shot against the amount of money that is poured into the Democratic and Republican parties. How is an independent candidate ever supposed to fight against that?
So, open primaries, which advocates for independent voters. There's a bunch of ballot measures coming up in states where independents cannot vote in the primary. They have to sign up with a party to do so. So if there was, in the state of Nevada, there's a possibility this week of them passing a law where independents can at least pick a Democrat or Republican ballot. It's not fully open, but before they had no access at all. Forcing you to join a party. And some people are like, I don't want to join a party. So if there were ballot measures like that on the ballot this November, would you support them?
Yeah, I mean, look, what are we talking about here, right? If we're going to talk about a truly democratic nation, right, and truly giving power to the people, then you have to be able to give them the option for the candidates that they want to vote for. We shouldn't be a country that is just a two-party country. There are so many people that sit in the middle spectrum, and now, especially with the younger generation, right, the generation after us, they don't want to pick any parties. They have their own, critical thinking abilities. They see that both parties essentially kind of suck, right? The candidates are not the best option. So why aren't we, I feel like people like us, the people who are independents, are going to end up being the majority. And I think that's where we're headed. And I think the Democrats and the Republicans are both terrified of that idea. They don't want that. They want to keep the conversation to be polarized. And we don't want that. People who sit in the middle like myself, look, I'm conservative about crime. I am liberal about, government staying out of my bedroom. That's where I'm at, right? And I think as people, as American citizens, we should have the right and have the ability to be able to, choose for candidates who are going to support those kind of rights.
Yeah, because they just try to boil us down to the whole country split on 3 issues or something. That doesn't make any sense. So I want to ask you now, why are you a Bitcoiner? And how did you get into Bitcoin? And do you see a correlation between being a Bitcoiner and being an independent voter?
I think, listen, if you are about independence and liberty, then you are a Bitcoiner. And maybe if you haven't gotten into Bitcoin, you just don't know that you are indeed a Bitcoiner. You just don't know yet. You just don't have enough information to know that you are exactly that. I got orange pilled by my Gaber, my neighbor who's gay. That's why I call him Gaber. He, totally orange.
New term.
New term. That's been around for a bit. You haven't hung out in West Hollywood enough.
No, you're right. I do not. I should spend more time there.
Just hang out in West Hollywood. You'll hear Gabers all the time. My Gaber introduced me to Bitcoin. I fell in love. He was like, you're investing in Bitcoin, right? I was like, tell me more. And I was like, I've been wanting to invest in it because I saw a documentary back in 2016 about crypto. And I remember after watching that documentary saying, oh, so you're telling me that the current financial system has to basically collapse for this new financial system to rise? And I was like, how's that going to work, right? And just the rise of Bitcoin and just being here at the conference. I mean, look, I was at the Bitcoin Miami conference, 2-3 years ago? From what it was, the conference then, to what it is now, I mean, you see the exponential growth, not just among guys, among women. Yeah. I went to the women's Bitcoin brunch. There were 3 size the women that were at Bitcoin Miami. That should tell you. all ages, all sizes, all races. There were moms there. There were young people. There was a 14-year-old there. It was amazing to see that, right? So I think there is this Bitcoin has just kind of given people this opportunity to be like, wow, even in finance, right? It's one thing to have political ideologies that are more independent based, but it's another to have your money, talk that independent talk, and Bitcoin is exactly that.
So do you like supporting companies that accept Bitcoin? I mean, obviously it's got to be a product you like or an ideology you like, but in general, do you like supporting companies that accept Bitcoin?
100,000%. I mean, look, we want to be the company that accepts Bitcoin, right? I mean, when we do our events, we want to accept our payments in Bitcoin. We want to accept our partnerships and sponsorships in Bitcoin. That is that is the future. That is the way to go. And I'm seeing so many companies here. Like I just came across this company that's doing a Gemini credit card. And they're basically, right now with your credit cards, when you spend money, you get points for airlines or whatever. With them, you actually earn Bitcoin. Imagine that.
Yeah, that's amazing. So where do you see, how do you see Bitcoin adoption going? Where do you see it going in the future?
Yeah.
And how do you see it, if at all, intertwining with, because it's this revolutionary thing. And yes, Trump is a pro-Bitcoin. Cynthia Lummis is pro-Bitcoin. So
I met her last night.
Nice,
yeah.
nice. So a lot of people are like, oh, Bitcoin's a Republican thing. So what do you say to that? And how do you view the future of Bitcoin the next couple of years, what it's going to happen to it, and how it's going to impact politics specifically in America?
Yeah, first of all, absolutely not. Bitcoin is not a Republican thing. I mean, it is far from it. Bitcoin.
We're too lefty whacked out.
Yeah, no. I mean, seriously, it is a hardcore independent, currency. This is nothing to do with Republicans and Democrats. This is about you making up your mind, you having self-custody, you being able to not getting stopped at the airport or residing in a country where their entire financial system is collapsing, right? And then they're going to punish you if you try to take your money out. This is strictly independent. So where do I see it going? I mean, look, I think, let's be honest, when you see the likes of BlackRock, right, Jamie Dimon, right, all coming out and saying and recognizing the absolute, intrinsic value of what Bitcoin is, it's undeniable. It's undeniable. I think the sad part is that the average person who is independent and does not have enough education or is intimidated about learning about Bitcoin, I think they're truly missing out. And this, Bitcoin is basically for people like that.
Yeah, if you're an independent thinker, if you're an out-of-the-box thinker, look into Bitcoin. And I didn't get it at first. I'm not a tech or finance guy. I'm a hippie surfing comedian. What do I know? So
You forgot to mention vegan.
Vegan. Yeah, Steak and Shake's like, we use beef tallow. I'm like, sweet. So, all right, tell everybody your name and where they can find you online and the name of your company.
Awesome. My name is Mona Shaikh. My company is Web3 Is A Joke. We do crypto comedy roasts around the world. You can find us on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube at Web3 Is A Joke.
Buy Bitcoin.